And the third movie I watched once and was like, huh? What is this?
There's a third one?
No.
Oh.
But if it was, it would be a time travel movie where they go back into ancient China.
Like a spin-off of Turtles in Time. That'd actually be really cool.
Yeah. You know, the concept is great.
It's a great idea. They should do it. They just have to do it right or else it'll blow.
Hey, it's your guy Ren. Welcome to Cinema Slime, the podcast for film lovers who can't stop talking about the movies that move us, confuse us, or just make us want to yell at the screen. I'm joined, as always, by my brilliant co-hosts Harrison and Scott.
Talking shit, dog? You want to say that again to my face?
Yeah, screw you, Ren. You know what? You're the Donatello of this group, okay? Just
What's The Rock's best movie?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I think it's about to come out. We'll see. Yeah, it's a toss-up between every other movie he's been in. Maybe Jungle Cruise, but it's a lot of The Rock.
I like The Rock.
I do too.
I'm not a huge actor fan in general, but I like The Rock. I just generally just like the guy. I really liked him in the new Jumanji.
Yeah, he's funny. He's got good timing.
I'm going to give a shout out to The Rundown, which I believe he is in. That's a pretty dang good movie.
Speaking of which, was he in The Other Guys? As one of the actual cops that died?
Okay, you ready for something that just happened? So I was like, oh, The Rundown. The Rock's in that one. I like that one. I was thinking about it. I was like, oh yeah, that's the one where he's like a cop and the town's corrupt and he has to come in and, be the good cop. And that's not it. That's a movie called Walking Tall. And he put those out within a year of each other. So that's a pretty easy makeup. Actually, even the posters are quite similar to each other. So
how many movies has The Rock acted in?
248.
Okay, well, you're closer than what I would have guessed. I would have guessed 60, but he's up to 107.
107?
And
wow.
I feel like he's only been acting for 20 years, maybe 15.
Since what, The Mummy?
Yeah.
When he came out as the Scorpion King? Yeah.
Which is unforgivable.
Unforgivable. Unforgivable.
Truly.
That
was when the straw broke the camel's back. When CGI, I was just like, I'm out. I'm out. It can't get better, and it looks like crap. You guys been watching anything crazy lately?
We watched K-pop Demon Hunters for the third time, I think, and it's still fun. I don't care what anyone says. I had a really good time.
I put that one on, and then it started buffering, and I was like, I ain't got time for this, and turned it off.
It's really fun. Honestly, it's a really, really fun story. And my kids enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We actually watched the sing-along version last night, and we just went nuts.
Hey, real quick, I just want to talk about a movie that haunted me. Dude, I don't know. Okay, I've been watching some ridiculously troubling, amazing movies lately.
Some that you need to talk to your bishop about?
Yeah, first one. I watched the movie Airplane for the first time. Dude,
that movie is so funny.
I can't believe I hadn't seen it until now.
That's so funny.
It's funny because Naked Gun was my first time watching it. Was maybe a month ago, but that was the gateway drug to Airplane, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so excited. This is the original Adam Sandler dumb kind of witty comedy, but this is way better. Or never mind. I can't say it, but I really love Airplane, and I had such a good time watching that.
Airplane is definitely a movie that I've been trying to figure out how to get it onto a list.
Harrison, have you seen it?
I haven't seen it. I've heard so many good things though, and I'm excited to watch it. I'll find a way.
The scene where the old lady hung herself, I almost peed my pants. I was watching it we have this big comfortable beanbag, and I rolled off of it, and I was laughing so hard that I told my kids to start punching me. I was like, punch me, I can't stop laughing. This is the funniest thing. And they started punching me, and I caught my breath. And
I love that was your first instinct. I just need people to punch me, and that'll make me stop laughing.
Allie was laughing at me because I couldn't stop laughing. I just kept playing it in my head for 5 minutes afterwards, and then I rolled over on the floor thinking about it again, and then I was like, violence. Make me stop.
That's when I developed my drinking problem.
Dude, that is that's the funniest thing I've seen.
It's like nonstop dad jokes. it just keeps them coming.
It's like, yeah,
over and over and over
every 11 seconds there's a gag. It's so funny. I loved it. Another one I want to shout out. Oh, do you have any comments on Airplane? Or I really encourage you to watch it soon. This is all I'm.
Airplane's definitely on my short list to watch. I've seen a couple clips from it, and it always just gets me. I feel like it's one of those movies where the joke happens, and it takes you just like a half a second, and then it clicks in your head, and you go, "Oh my god!" Like you're just like constantly like half a second behind all the time. So when the jokes hit, they hit like just a little bit harder because it feels like it's coming at you faster and faster throughout the whole movie. Like that's kind of the vibe I was getting from it when I watched a couple clips from it.
Tube, it's got big wheels, it spins, 8 wings, and it looks like a giant Tylenol.
I couldn't breathe. Okay, another movie I want to talk about just real briefly as a word of caution that I don't think you guys would like. But actually, I have two movies that fall into exactly the same category. One was 1979's All That Jazz. I've been going down this rabbit hole of Roy Scheider films. If you don't know who that is, he's in Sorcerer and Jaws. This movie is insane, but it's like the secret, like behind the scenes life of Bob Fosse, this choreographer, like mad scientist behind the scenes, and it was insanely well acted. Tough to watch, but it was excellent. It was a masterpiece. Literally, it floored me. And then another movie I don't want to talk about, but it's called Autofocus. Do you guys know who Bob Crane is of Hogan's Heroes? Yeah, he was murdered. This whole movie is about his whole life leading up to his murder, and it's insane. But if anyone else has seen those or wants to talk about that, leave a comment because there's a lot to say about it. But
you might need a little therapy after that one.
Yeah,
talk it out.
they were excellent.
So when we get to the category of Ren's trauma movies, it'll be on that list.
Yeah, I had 2 entries this week. Yeah, Autofocus, All That Jazz, Videodrome.
Yes. Apparently Young Frankenstein as well, and Clue, and
but mostly The Devil All the Time. No, yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
I think my favorite thing about that movie is I threw that on my list like so casually. Like literally someone was like, "Oh, A Devil All the Time is a small time movie." And I was like, "Great. Throw it on there." Like I didn't like take a second to think about it. I was just like,
Still,
yeah,
like,
why not?
Licking our wounds like
Yeah. Wasn't ready for that, boys.
Yeah, no, I didn't watch. Oh, no, that's not true. I started playing Spirited Away for my kids cuz I'm like I want to watch some like deeper Ghibli with my kids. And so I had my my middle kid who's 3 on my lap, and then my oldest was sitting there like half paying attention playing Minecraft. I was like, "Hey, come watch this. I think you'll like it." And so, it's at the beginning and she goes in and like starts, the parents are just like weirdly attracted to the food and stuff, and she's like, "You're gonna get in trouble." And both of my kids are like rule followers when it comes to stuff like that, and they're like really uncomfortable. They were like getting really uncomfortable, and then all the like spirits pop up, and like the parents turn into pigs, and like literally both children just started sobbing like, "I don't want to watch this terrifying movie." And I was like, "This is perfect."
You're just sitting there reveling in their tears.
I was like, I knew this was gonna happen, which is why I turned it on. But at the same time, like I was like, maybe they're old. Maybe oldest is old enough to like work through it. But no, not yet.
You just brought something up that I was thinking about. I've been doing. I don't know if you guys saw. I posted a video on our social about the final day of filming the movie Hook, and I was thinking about that movie because there's a scene. Movie. That movie's so good, and the music
really good.
Dude, I watched
John Williams again.
Yeah,
I love people who are so good at their job that you're just like, yeah, he did it again, and no one can like refute it. It's just like there's no even essence of being like, I don't know, wasn't John Williams best? It's like, no, like you just can't. He's just that good.
Tell it's his work like that.
I love that, he's got his bombastic like Indiana Jones or Star Wars kind of brass kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then he's got his like Harry Potter or Hook like fantasy kind of up and down scales stuff, and they just all have different vibes, but they're all like so definitively John Williams. Absolutely. Too. Like he's so good.
Yeah. I feel like I was watching a movie and I was like, this soundtrack's really good. It's like it sounds Wait, what's his name? Bob Williams.
John.
I was like, it sounds like John Williams. And I looked it up and it was him. And I was like, yep, not surprised. And it was excellent. So I was thinking about Hook, and I remember being so young. There's a scene in that movie where Peter's telling his origin story, and the little baby is like in that baby cradle, and it like rolls down the hill. And I remember like getting like really like choked up at that part. And it's like one of the first times you think of like being separated like from your parents. So I'm sure that's exactly what your kids just felt. Just like, wait, what? The only parents that I know, like you can't even like fathom that happening.
They're like, they've been turned into monsters.
Yeah.
Like they're absolutely, like that is the most unnatural, unholy thing that occurred.
Have you seen that whole movie?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I need to talk about it.
It'll
get on our
be
list.
on our list.
Oh yeah,
We will watch that movie.
Yeah,
We'll do let's see, Pirates. We could do Pirates. Just Robin Williams in general. Actually, I wouldn't mind watching a bunch of Robin Williams movies.
Oh, I have one of my favorite movies of all time is a Robin Williams movie that I don't think anyone's seen, but it's called World's Greatest Dad. It's awesome.
Oh, so Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, basically.
Oh boy.
Dude, he's got so many good movies. Although he is in the worst movie of all time, Popeye.
That's true.
Oh, I just gotta point that out. But everything else he touches is gold. I'm dying on this hill. Popeye's the worst movie ever made.
I mean, Dr. Parnassus.
Yeah.
A torture week. Oh god.
So I really do think that we should have a list of, and the list probably won't be that long, but each one of us picks like literally the movie that I hate the most in the world, and then we watch those movies and try
like an experiment to see like which one of us actually does like it.
Kind of.
Or maybe you kind of do like grow some appreciation for it.
Okay, just throwing this out there. We could do that, and what we could do is we could watch all three of them and just do one episode about it. Which sounds terrible, but if we wanted to consolidate,
interesting. I wouldn't mind that, and it would definitely not be as miserable to do it for an entire month. So
that's true. Well, we can do whatever we want, which is exactly why we're gonna transition to the next part of this episode. That was pretty good.
That was a good transition.
Yeah, that was
pretty good. And you know what? I know that no one read the title of this podcast before pushing play. So I'm assuming everyone listening to this has no idea what's coming.
Yeah, it's a total surprise. Okay.
Total surprise.
You ready for the intro?
I'm so ready for this intro.
I don't want to let you down, but I did something different.
You've heard they exist, but you never believed they were real, because you never actually seen them. Until now.
Just what is going on out there, April?
They're mean.
Hey, what are you, some sort of punker? God, I hate punkers. Especially bald ones with green makeup.
They're green.
What the heck was that?
Looked like sort of a big turtle in a trench coat.
And they're on the screen.
God, I love being a turtle!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Prepare to be shell-shocked.
The voice that just read that in that trailer, I'm pretty sure is the same voice actor who does the voice of Shredder in the cartoon.
Rad.
I think it is. It sounds exactly like it, and if it's not, I'll be damned.
So this movie is not a time travel movie, Ren. What are we doing? Are we just going off the rails, just doing whatever we want? I'm so confused.
We've lost our minds. That's basically... No, we're 3 35 to 40-year-old dudes who have a podcast with no rules. That's basically what it is.
And we all agreed.
We're unanimous.
Yes, we'll do this episode.
Well, what spurred it was this is the 35th year anniversary, and there's movie theaters all over the country playing this movie. And fortunately, I was able to go see a screening with a great buddy of mine, his little boy, and I brought my 2 boys, and it was awesome. And then on the way there, I was like, dude, I can't wait. This is going to be great. And then I realized that I had never seen this movie in the theater myself because I was 2 years old when it was released. So it was like memories on top of fake memories, creating memories with my boys, and it was really fun.
You want to know what I learned about this movie that blows my freaking mind?
What?
This was a $13 million budget indie movie.
Really?
Yeah. This was not supposed to be a success. So here's the story. So no studio wanted to take this movie on because Masters of the Universe was an absolute bomb. Nobody liked it. It was terrible. Have you ever seen it? No, I didn't even know the movie existed.
I don't even know what it looks like.
That's how bad it was. And so taking popular cartoon and comics and putting them on the big screen was not a formula that any studio wanted to handle. And there was this little indie studio or publishing house called New Line Cinema that we think of as this giant studio that takes on giant movies like Lord of the Rings and Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. The only thing that it had to its name was Nightmare on Elm Street. It was a little studio like art house films and Freddy Krueger. And then they were like, sure, we'll do this. It had a budget of $13 million and it made
That's insane.
$250 million back.
And still making money today, probably.
Still making money today. Like, this is like the absolute indie movie darling that I genuinely had no idea. I genuinely had no idea until I was doing this movie's research.
Wow.
Well, it's because it holds up so well. Like literally, like probably the most impressive thing to me was how well the costumes on the turtles looked. I was like, what? How does this look so good from all the way back then? Like, it's really cool.
Dude, without that, I don't know. Like you're right. They nail the costumes, the face so well that like as a kid, like you just buy it because it's the same as the comic book and the cartoon. Like it all matches. They even do that like. What is that face? It's like the sideways, like they nail every single aspect, and they're ripped, and they're not all the same color. They made their skin like like freckly, and like it looks super realistic.
Right, their nose snouts are just a little bit different. I know that like Leonard's is a little more like out there and straight. What was it? Yeah, I was doing a little background research on this too, and this movie was the highest grossing indie film for a long time until Blair Witch Project knocked it off the top.
Wow.
Also, I think that it was the 5th highest grossing movie the entire year.
That's so cool.
And
the
only other movie that it was released around that it was competing with was Home Alone. And that was such a big thing. But it released the same year as Tremors. Obviously, Tremors did not do well in the box office, but this movie did.
Dude, 1990 ruled.
It was radical. Radical.
Dude.
It was Jim Henson. Didn't he make all the costumes and the suits for the turtles?
His son. Yeah, I think it's Bob Henson.
So
actually, I was looking that up.
In this case, it was Jim Henson. It was one of his last movies that he actually worked on.
Oh.
And he hated it because it was too violent. But he did a really good job. I was watching a whole thing about how the facial animatronics worked. We're going to talk about that because insanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Ren, I don't want to take over your show. No, as in this is your movie you picked. I want you to kick it off. We absolutely stole it.
We picked this.
Yeah, no, this is a group thing. No, I actually have some really cool like production things about this film to talk about. And I'm just gonna go through it because a lot of this is stuff that would have happened before the movie started. Fun fact, this movie was supposed to be like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit style, with the turtles being animated, interacting with live people. And I found that like so fascinating. Apparently it took off the idea board pretty quickly, but they were pushing for it for a little while after Roger Rabbit came out.
They're like, how the crap are we going to do Ninja Turtles in real life and not make this absolutely terrible?
Yeah.
No, it's true. No, honestly, like one thing I'm so impressed about those suits is the fighting in it. Like, because the thing is this, like when you think about people getting in these big rubber suits, lots of times what they talk about is like, oh, like you can't maneuver, you can't go to the bathroom, you can't do X, Y, and Z because it's so stiff, it's so miserable being in there. But I feel like they did a really good job filming all these to make it look good. And here's a cool little thing I found out. So when they were filming dialogue scenes, they were filming it at a different frame rate. They were filming at 23 frames per second. And I guess they filmed fight scenes at 22, I believe, so that the fight scenes would look a little more fluid. I think that's how that works in terms of the numbers. But
yeah.
I found that really cool that they were like, hey, if we just make these small adjustments, we can make the fight scenes look a lot smoother. I bet when they were recording it, it was a lot more clunky or a lot more just slower, you know?
So case in point about moving in giant suits, Bubba Hotep had practical effects as well. And the zombie or the mummy, the Bubba Hotep mummy, was in a rubber suit. And this is like a guy that is in rubber suits for a living, right? Bob Ivy, I think. The reason that the mummy walked around the way that he did and was so clunky was not just because it was a mummy, but because like the rubber suit, he couldn't move in it. But like Ninja Turtles, like they're 4 dudes just jumping around doing flips and crap, and like for reals. Yeah. So if we want to talk about the suits and stuff, like,
let's jump in it. Let's do it.
So there's an actor inside the suit, and the actor has to be a martial artist, right?
Yeah.
So these same 4 actors were in 1 and 2 for sure. I didn't look at 3 because I'm gonna pretend 3 doesn't exist for today.
Thank you. Even though the poster's right behind my shoulder.
And it's a beautiful poster.
It's the poster's the best part about it.
The concept is the best part about it. They were wearing these latex suits, and it took them hours to get in them every day, and they were in them for like 8 to 10 hours a day, just soaking up 30 pounds of their sweat, right? Then they had an animatronic helmet that they were wearing, and that face on that was puppeteered via radio signals. There was another actor that had like the eyeballs on one hand, the eyebrows and eyeballs on one hand on this like thing, and then the other hand controlled their mouth, and so they could get all of the little distinct like facial features and stuff like that, smiles and quirks and all that kind of stuff.
Looked like a sock puppet, like what they were using for the mouth. It literally just looked like they put their hand in a sock and they were just like.
And then the puppeteer would sit and do the lines while he was like talking through the lines, and then they had another actor that was the voice of the Ninja Turtles that was dubbed over later. And so there, for each turtle, there were 3 actors. There was the in-suit actor, the face puppeteer, and line reader. And then there was the dubbed over like character actor for the voice.
Dude, that's nuts.
For each character. And
Dude.
Inside the animatronic helmets, there was in one ear a radio signal for the in-suit actor to be able to talk directly with the puppeteer. And that was a 2-way line, so that they could, the in-suit actor could hear what they were supposed to be saying at that moment, but they could also talk back.
That's crazy.
And then in their other ear was like an open line for everybody on set, because everyone wears the headphones, right, on set. And so the turtles got those. But then they also could hear all of the animatronics in the face going constantly. And they were like looking out of the eyeballs or the mouth, depending on where they could see.
Yeah.
So they could hardly see. But then they could also hear stuff live on set. So it's just like mad chaos being inside this thing, and you're just trapped and sweaty the entire time while doing like stunts and flips and crap. Like, holy crap!
Yeah, that's so bonkers. That's one of those things where you're just like, everyone needs to praise these guys for everything, because that sounds miserable. Oh my gosh, what a overstimulating experience, I'm sure.
Also, Shredder's like helmet is like silver tiger like patterned. It's so crazy. Yeah, it's like metal ridged. Yeah, they nailed it. That was super cool.
See, I definitely, when he comes out for that first meeting with everybody in that weird like abandoned swimming pool, I don't know what they were in, but
that amazing shot of his shadow walking in is incredible.
Yeah,
it's so good. But like when he came out and they took off his clothes, he took that off and you saw what he was wearing, I was like, that looks so like, I don't know, like his shirt's like this like weird like mesh red, like I feel like it's really sparkly and really scratchy, and I was like, that's probably not very comfortable either.
Okay, this might be reaching, but I want to know what you guys think. But I was looking at the design of Shredder's helmet and how it kind of goes up forward and then back.
I'm ready for this.
And it reminded me of some H.R. Giger artwork. And maybe that's far-fetched, but I was looking at, I don't know if you remember the cartoon show, but do you remember the pizza monsters in the sewers? Those are xenomorphs. So I made this connection, and I was really proud of myself for that.
So,
And this came out, this definitely ripped off. They ripped off H.R. Giger is what I'm claiming.
so really, they shouldn't have made Prometheus. They should have just made turtles.
Yeah, exactly.
You know who it reminded me of? I don't know if you can see this picture. I don't know if you can see that from the Power Rangers.
Yeah.
I have no idea who this character is from the Power Rangers, but he looks exactly like Shredder to me.
That's Zordon.
Is that no? Zordon. It's Zed or something. It's
starts with a Z.
Yeah, it's definitely a Z. Z.
Well, it has to be. I mean, it has to be a Z. Like, what other villains? You have to have a villain with a starting.
No,
with
Zordon's the good guy.
Yeah, the big face, the Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz tube. Yeah.
Okay, ready? Yeah. Okay, it is a Z. It's Lord Zed.
Oh yeah,
Zed.
Name.
Lord Zed.
Yes, Lord Zed.
So good.
I'm not the kind of person that would go to like a Comic-Con convention, but if I did, it would be fully decked out as Lord Zed or as Shredder.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's no other person that I would go as.
Did you guys have you guys heard the inspiration for Shredder and how he was created?
I think what is it?
Go for it.
They're in the process of making Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They were drawing the characters like, we need a villain. And apparently the guy who created him, he was shredding cheese with one of those tall cheese tower things. And he put his hand inside of it so that it covered his hand, and he grabbed the handle and he looked at it and was like, dude, imagine a bad guy who had like, shredding like knives on his arm. Like that was the inspiration. I'm just like, oh dear heaven. This is so good.
And his buddy's like, yeah, dude, that sounds sick.
This is so awesome. I also have an inspiration for Splinter's name. So in the Daredevil comics, his like mentor when he was a kid, the mentor's name was Stick, and so that inspired Splinter because he's a splinter off of that character and fulfills the same role. It made me chuckle for a little while.
So I kind of want to go back a little bit further, but before I do that, Ren, this movie meant a lot to you as a kid. I've seen pictures of you dressed up as a Ninja Turtle when you were like really, really young. What is this movie to you?
It's a trip watching this movie. I wanted to ask you guys kind of your earliest memories, but I like have this vivid memory. Like every time I see the New Line Cinema intro, I think of this movie on VHS on like a 12-inch screen down in Grandma and Grandpa Jensen's basement. Yes. And I remember I have this hilarious memory of I was like doing all the karate moves that they do at the same time. And I remember my grandma coming down and she like thought it was so funny and was just like, oh, that's so good. And just being grandma, like awesome. And then she went up to go get grandpa and he came down and I just looked over him and he was like, so not impressed at all. It was so funny, or it's so funny thinking about it now. But he was just like, keep it up, and like walked away.
That.
Oh yeah, that's a good memory. I don't even blame him. But yeah, I don't know. This movie, when I see Danny.
It's you, Ren. I know. As soon as I saw Danny, I was like, that's Ren right there.
He has multiple Sid Vicious t-shirts, and like I can smell his t-shirt through the screen, and that kid sucks, and he steals, and like I remember, like I was young enough to where I was like, whoa, like are all teenagers that bad? And like he does a lot of naughty stuff, and yeah. I don't know. This is just a trip of a film to watch, especially all these years later.
No, yeah. In terms of Danny, I swear they were like, "Wow, this character doesn't seem all that interesting, but we need him as like the in to the Foot Clan." And they're like, "Well, we could put some really sweet shirts on him. That'll be fine." And like that's like the one thing I noticed. I was like, I mean, he's got some drip, but he's not that interesting.
I don't know. I don't know if I have any more memories. I was obsessed with Ninja Turtles, everything about it. And I would draw them, I would think about them, I would like practice like martial arts, like when no one was looking. Like it totally consumed me. And in hindsight, it probably like made me like want to be a teenager sooner, maybe.
What was it? The like karate move I remember practicing and like reenacting all the time was when they're invading April O'Neil's home, and that one guy comes down with the nunchucks, and him and Michelangelo had this like face off. I remember pretending to be the foot soldier and being like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah. I thought it was so.
I remember that.
Thought it was
I remember
so cool.
that. That's so funny. Oh, so this part of the film, I was sitting next to my boy Knox, and it's the flashback of their origin, getting in the ooze, and where he's like, radical, radical. And my Knox started laughing, and he like would like whisper it in my ear, and then like 10 minutes would go by, and he'd go like, radical, radical. And he would keep doing it. I was like, yeah, it's pretty catchy. I love that part.
Pizza, pizza, pizza. Radical, radical.
No, so my memory of this movie, so this is what happened. I finished watching this movie, and then I did the Harrison thing where I'm like, well, if this movie's good, I bet the comics are good. And I bet the other movies are good. Oh, there's a TV series too. So I started making lists, just like listing out everything. And then I had a realization. I was like, oh my gosh, the only exposure I actually had to this franchise is this movie and the Super Nintendo video game. That's basically it. I don't remember watching the animated TV show. I haven't watched any of the remake movies. It's basically just been this movie and that one game.
Are you talking about Turtles in Time?
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you right now that the only thing you actually want to go back and watch or go into are the original comics.
Yeah.
They are incredible.
Have you gone through that journey, Scott? Did you watch the animated show and you were just like, damn, yeah, Red. He's holding up that SNES game right now.
The animated show is fine. It's not my kind of show.
It's nostalgic.
Yeah, it's nostalgic.
But it's not like quality.
It's like Captain Planet quality, whatever. Like, it's Mighty Max.
It's for kids. And if you're a kid, it's freaking awesome. And then you grow up and you're like, oh, I see. Like,
yeah. My exposure actually, my earliest memories, I actually didn't watch this movie until I was married.
Oof.
You
poor soul.
I watched Ninja Turtles 2.
Okay.
All over the place.
Yeah.
And it's funny. So the first time I watched this, I was like, I don't know. It's like different.
Dark.
I was like, it's like kind of raw.
Grungy.
And I wasn't really sure what I thought of it. And, I liked it. It was fun and all, but it has a different flavor than the second movie.
Oh,
yeah. And the third movie I watched once and was like, huh? What is this?
There's a third one?
No.
Oh.
But if it was, it would be a time travel movie where they go back into ancient China.
Like a spin-off of Turtles in Time. That'd actually be really cool.
Yeah.
There you go.
The concept is great.
Great idea.
It's there.
They should do it. They just have to do it right or else it'll blow.
I watched TMNT, which is also worth seeing, but not with high expectations. For the fight between Raph and Leo. That's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Good stuff, man.
The one that's like tries to be the turtles come from space and they're aliens and it's like supposed to be like the modern Transformers movies is not worth it. And then there's one that just came out like last year or the year before, something like that. And that is also interesting to watch for their take on it, but I don't know that I'd watch it again.
It looked like a fun romp. I feel like, if I'm recalling correctly, I remember a lot of people telling me they were like, one thing I like about it is the turtles are actually like young teenagers, and the actors who are voicing them are just high school kids being high school kids. Like there were moments where they just turn on the mic and just let them talk, and they'd be like, all right, we'll find a way to get that in the movie.
I love the new one, the Mutant Mayhem one. I thought it was awesome.
The art style, I think, is the biggest sell for me. It kind of had the vibes of like, a couple of the movies that have come out, like the Spider-Verse movies and stuff like that, where it's like somebody just had a crazy idea and then they just did it right. That's what the Mutant Mayhem feels like. They just took the production quality all the way up, and it's just right.
Well, off this note, I just was looking at this today. Shout out to the Old Turtle Den. It's this YouTube channel, and they're just like they put my turtle fandom to shame. But so there's rumors of The Last Ronin, which Harrison, I think I got you that comic for Christmas.
You did.
So it's going to be a rated R, really well done Ninja Turtle movie coming out in like 2 years.
Freaking heck.
It's going to be awesome.
Hopefully.
And then they just signed Seth Rogen and everyone that made Mutant Mayhem. They're not doing a sequel to it. So we got lots of turtle stuff coming down the pipe, and no pun intended, but it's going to be freaking awesome. And I'm really excited. And you know what's cool about us doing this? We might just have to do like emergency pods for every Ninja Turtle moving forward. Like I think this is setting a good precedent moving forward. So I'm happy about that.
Most definitely. So going back to like my experience watching the film, I had a couple of unique like experiences watching it of just, realizing things. I think my favorite moment was when you first meet April O'Neil. One of the first thought I thought of in my head was like, God, I kind of want to go back in time, talk to my 8-year-old self, and be like, why didn't you have like a childhood crush on this gal? Because dang, she is real pretty. Like I was really impressed.
I'm not a frizzy hair fan, but you're right. And in fact, she's like totally into the Ninja Turtle world at like Comic-Con and stuff like that. She's all over the place, and she has aged like a fine wine, and she doesn't have that curly hair. So.
I love when I love when actors really get into franchises like that, and they're like, no, I am proud of being April O'Neil in this one movie. It's just so great because there's nothing worse than watching a movie, of a franchise like this, and then just the actor's like, yeah, it was a good paycheck. Anyways, let's move on. You're just like, damn, like that's really depressing. But no, like April, I feel like one thing I really like about April is I feel like she was actually like a full fleshed out character in this movie. I don't think I really comprehended that when I watched it forever ago, but it was kind of cool watching it. It's like, oh, like she's someone I actually care about her. When her antique store like burns down, I was like, damn, like you hit me.
I gotta say, I grew up with a different April O'Neil, and
that's true.
The other April O'Neil from Ninja Turtles 2 is also really hot, and I had a crush on her growing up. But this April is better than Paige O'Hara. Oh, by the way, notice Sam Rockwell is the leader here. That would be Guy from Galaxy Quest.
Yep.
Yes. That one tickled the back of my head throughout the whole film. I was like, I know this guy. It's somewhere deep within my cerebellum. It's there. And afterwards I looked it up and I was like, that was so satisfying.
That's funny because I have always recognized him. Like from everything else, I'm like, oh, the regular menthol guy. Like always knew who he was. It's funny also just because we're talking about Sam Rockwell, but like his character's kind of not all the way fleshed out. Like in the beginning, he tries to rob April. Mm-hmm. He gets tied up. I'm assuming he gets arrested.
But he's back here.
And then he's back here. And then when Shredder is addressing everyone else, he's there, but he never is dressed up in the Foot Clan outfit.
Right.
And he doesn't have a, what's that called? A
kimono?
Yes, he doesn't wear a kimono. He's just kind of like a street kid connection. And then in the end, he totally like gives up on everything and just like folds over. Like he tries to like stick up for the Foot and Shredder and everything, but he just folds in the end.
Well, I mean, Casey Jones had a good point. This is your family, and then walks away.
Yeah, come on.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, just popping in real quick. If you could hit that like and subscribe button, that would really help us out a lot. But either way, let's get back to the show. I forgot, by the way, how cult-like the Foot is. Like, it's really, like, I was watching, I was like, whoa, this is so weird. Like, it's like they lure in all these teenagers and give them, like, like, hey, here's, like, Teenage Wasteland Paradise. You get to do anything. All you have to do is go steal a couple things. And then they pick off, like, the powerful ones, and they're like, hey, why don't you come in here and I'll train you how to, be a ninja and do, fight and be really cool and everything. And then they like promote them. They like put them on a pedestal as like, this is what you're trying to achieve. Everyone's outsiders. And then when Shredder comes in, he's like, he calls himself like father, and he's a super mysterious figure that they all look up towards. And I was like, whoa, this is like, this is a little creepy, honestly.
Yeah. Today, this would be a little bit different. Like, like he promises them in return like a place to live. They can come smoke cigarettes and cigars and skateboard inside of this factory. But like, how does he? He must be a great cult leader because he gets them to just go out all over New York, steal people's TVs and radios, and yeah, I don't really get the motivation behind it, but
yeah,
it's awesome.
I mean, yeah, no, I think it is just kind of like a, you know, at the end they're like, no, this is my family, this is where I belong, this is where I can come and live. I don't have to listen to my parents. I don't have to do that. I mean, it's very like, it kind of feels a little surface level of just like, yeah, teenagers don't want to like listen to their parents. Like, come all over here and listen to me, you know?
Have you guys ever read Animorphs?
Yes.
I have not read it, but I know exactly what they look like.
There's an alien race in the Animorphs called the Hork-Bajir, and they're described as basically being all knives. And every time I see Shredder, I think of Hork-Bajir, and every time I'm reading about a Hork-Bajir, I think of Shredder. So
how do you spell that word?
Because I've been reading them.
No, I'm typing it in. How do I spell it?
HORKBAJIR.
Here it is. Oh, I've totally seen that. Oh yeah, dude, I miss when the covers look like that.
The good days.
K.A. Applegate is kind of my role model.
I love it.
K.A. Applegate. Just is he related to R.L. Stein? Like everyone's got the same format.
Paige's pen name is D.W. Shepard.
Yeah.
Was it another big kind of revelation I had when watching this movie was, so, okay, here, let's do this real quick. Who was your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle growing up? Because mine was definitely Leonardo, like hands down. I thought he was the coolest. He had 2 swords. Blue was my favorite color. Like, I thought he was awesome.
Mikey. Yeah. All the way Mikey for me.
Yeah, it was Mikey, but it toggled between Mikey and Raph. Probably just because Red and Ren, I think I was just, you know.
Basic like that. No, it was interesting watching this. And, you know, you're watching it and I kind of had a realization. I was like, oh my gosh, Raphael is the main character. Like, that never crossed my mind as a kid. But when you watch the film, it's like, no, this is his journey, really. Like, Leonardo may be like the leader of the whole thing. And then Michelangelo and Donatello are just kind of like, you know, comedy relief. I mean, they're awesome characters, don't get me wrong. But you're watching it, you're like, no, like, it's Raphael. That's who we're rooting for. That's who we're following to see his journey throughout this whole process.
That's so true. And part of my research was just kind of looking at some of the like outtakes or like scenes that were considered. And there's a whole scene that they removed in post-production of Michelangelo. Did you guys read anything about this?
Not really.
There's a whole, so throughout the film, Donatello and Splinter in 2 different scenes, they'll kind of talk about like, you know, one day Splinter will be gone. And Donatello's kind of sitting down with him down in the sewers. And he's like, so what do you think about Splinter, you know, talking about not being around here forever? And he's like, oh, time's up. Guy didn't earn his tip. And he always changes the subject whenever something personal or like challenging comes up. He deflects with his humor. And there's a scene once they all go to the barn at April's parents' property or wherever that is. And he suddenly comes to the realization that Splinter's gone. And he gets really like afraid. And there's a scene where he just like destroys like holes into the wall. And like he's fighting this punching bag and rips it open. And he's like in this giant fit of rage. And he loses it and he cracks. And they took that out of the film, I'm assuming, to kind of lean into what you're talking about, kind of leaning into Raphael's story, because he's kind of the main focal point.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think that story, that arc of Michelangelo coming to terms with the uncomfortable, I think that would have made the film way better. I love this movie. I don't want to say way better, but I'm really sad that they didn't include that.
As you're saying that, Michelangelo's like, pork rind?
Yeah. No, man, you're so right, Ren. I mean, I absolutely love when movies just give depth to characters, even the you know, comedy relief type characters. Man, that would have been so cool to see. I'm envious that's not in there.
You can see kind of the storyboards for it online, and I was like, dude, that would be perfect. And especially that part in the film like for that rage to lead into the scene where they're all sitting around the campfire.
Oh yeah.
And then right after that, when they're like, it's time to go back, and the music's like,
Dude. Yeah.
Dude, I just felt I was like, oh, what could have been? That would have been so nice.
You know, I will say this. As a kid, I never felt like that barn scene or that home they go to. I didn't feel like that slowed the movie down. Like there's some movies I remember watching as a kid, like Robin Hood's kind of the one I'm thinking of. It's when Robin Hood, Maid Marian like finally get together and they're dancing. There's all that like sappy music. I remember as a kid just being like, oh my gosh, just fast forward. Like, why is this even in the movie?
But ironically, that's like 3 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right? It felt like 20 hours. I mean, seriously. But the whole section when they're at that home, I never felt like it was slow or it detracted from the whole story. I don't know. I love that whole sequence in there.
How do you feel? Like, do you still feel that way as an adult now that you're in critical mode?
I feel like that scene is beautiful. It's actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole film. So there's a very common type of episode in MASH, which is one of my favorite TV shows, where the characters will write home to their family and you get to hear their monologue and then writing out the letter. And I felt like this scene, and it really like, you know, fleshes out the character for you and just kind of shows how they feel about everything. And I feel like we got kind of like a mini version of this movie, where April is drawing all of the turtles and talking about how they're coping with this and how they're in their feelings about it. And I thought it was great. I was a little bummed out that like Michelangelo didn't get one. I wonder if that was cut, you know, in those storyboards as well. I really wish we got more for Michelangelo now that you told me that. But no, I love that whole sequence.
There was a funny part when I was in the movie theater, but I was unaware of this meme about Raphael. You know how it pans over to him and he's just like halfway like out of the tub, like passed out.
Oh
Yeah.
Everyone started, or not everyone, but there was like a few chuckles, and I was like, anyways, I just took note of it, and then I found out afterwards. I was like, oh, I get it. Yeah, they did just plop him into there, and he hasn't moved in like a few days. It's kind of rude.
It's like it's not his bed.
Yeah, no, I legitimately like busted a gut when because it's just a quick pan to him in there. And I'm like, you couldn't have laid him flat on his back. Like, what the heck? Like, he's like legs out, his arm is like above his head, and he just looks so uncomfortable. I did love the scene where he woke up and Leonardo goes up to him and they're hugging and they're talking about Splinter, and you're just like, like a good like little brotherhood moment. It was cool, which is then ruined by the follow-up scene where you see Donatello's his actor's face in his mouth, because Donatello like he like laughs and he like kicks his head back, and if you pause it right, you could see the actor's mouth within Donatello's mouth. It's terrifying. I posted it up on our Discord actually. It made me chuckle.
Yeah, there's a few like accidental like sound guys in the background of some scenes. Were you showing me that?
No.
Oh, the part where they're in April's apartment. Apparently, like if you look, Michelangelo's talking, and then in the background there's just a guy like leaning over doing something. And then there's another one where you can see like the mic boom just like barely go in and out of that's cool.
So this scene right here, the nunchuck fight scene that or like nunchuck off that you're talking about,
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember reenacting this all the time.
Apparently this movie this scene had to be edited out in German.
Really?
Or on the German edition, or it was the UK? I think it was the UK. Yeah, because in Germany they were really afraid of the word ninja, so they had to retitle the movie to Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles.
Oh, that's so bad.
And then in the UK they were extremely paranoid about nunchucks, not the other weapons, not the swords, not the size, stuff like that. It was the nunchucks. And so they had to edit out the scene right there because he was using nunchucks.
So so everyone on that side of the world is just, man, deprived of a great, beautiful scene.
That also leads me to something that I didn't realize until I was doing research into this movie, is the second movie, in between this movie coming out and the second movie coming out, there was a whole lot of parental lashing out. What do you call that? Like,
no, like
yeah.
Like the Comic Code Authority, like all that stuff.
Yeah. So apparently the movie was just too violent. And so the way that they figured out how to basically keep the spirit of Ninja Turtles is they didn't give any of the turtles their weapons in the second movie. And it's like, once you know that, you can't unsee it. but I had never thought of it. And so they use things as weapons periodically, but it's like they find stuff in the environment and they use it like a weapon.
Oh, I never noticed that. That's funny.
Like for example, at the beginning of Ninja Turtles 2, they're in the little mall getting the people that have the like stockings over their face, and he grabs like the nunchuck like sausage links, and he uses those. And so every time they use a weapon, it's like funny. You like look in every scene, they don't have like their swords or their scythes or their bows or anything attached to their back. Crazy.
Interesting.
And building off of that, I find it really crazy how like this movie is kind of violent, but it's like so funny through all of it. But you know, they're using these weapons and things. You never see blood or whatever. You know, no real damage ever happens to anybody when they're using the weapons. It's really there for the visual appeal of it all. But the comics are like gratuitously violent. Like that's just
awesome.
It's just where they. So the fact that this movie is so tame and was still called violent is just funny to me. I guess like and I feel like this is probably like my jam of level of violent in the Turtle franchise.
Yeah.
But I also got a call to like what it was when it started in the comics, because that's really rad. I just don't like that kind of stuff in general. But I feel like every other movie since this one is just really sanitized and tame, including Mutant Mayhem and stuff like that. So the fact that you were talking about the Ronin movie that's theoretically going to be rated R and might actually come out, like really hearkening back to that the original violence level stuff with the really cool anime tie-in and all that kind of stuff that the Ronin manga brought to it, like that's pretty appealing to me.
Yeah, that's really cool. Bring it back to its origins.
Right. What did you guys think about Casey Jones?
I'm sad that there's not more about his backstory. And I'm sure, like, I'm talking about in this movie in particular. But yeah, I thought the actor was great. I think he's the same. I mean, they have him in all 3 movies, which I think is.
He's not in the second movie.
So sad.
What? Oh, like at all? Or is it
His
different?
mind is blown.
He's not in it.
Oh, you're right. Oh my. Okay, well, he's in the third one, the first and third one. Wait, is there a third one? No, I
don't know.
There was a third one for some reason.
Anyways,
you probably dreamed that.
Yeah, never mind. I guess he's only in this one.
That was in the darker timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, one thing I like about Casey Jones is his introduction. When Raphael comes out of the movie theater, a great Critters poster in the background. I thought that was really funny. He stops these guys from stealing this old lady's purse, classic. And then Casey Jones comes in and kind of does the same thing. But he's a little more violent about it. And I remember as a kid watching it, and I didn't know why, but I remember watching it and I was like, that's interesting. And I just kind of moved on. But I think it's kind of cool that this movie kind of brings 2 characters that are like, they're technically both good guys, and they're both trying to do the same thing by stopping crime. But Casey Jones is just a little more violent about it, which is interesting opposed to Raphael, who is kind of being painted as the most aggressive out of all the turtles in his mannerisms. He's kind of the big rough one, things like that. But it's sort of like humanizes Raphael just a little bit right there, because you're like, okay, hold on, like, you know, he's rude, but he's not gonna, you know, beat the crap out of teenagers, and because that's not going to send the right message. So I thought that was it was a cool dynamic there. Is
the Casey Jones intro scene Raphael's Save the Cat?
Probably. I bet you 100% it is. There is. So, well, right before that, there is a scene where the turtles save April O'Neil from getting mugged. And we do get a moment where Raphael drops one of his sais and she picks it up, and you see Raphael, you know, his eyes poking out of the sewer, and he just goes, damn, he sinks back in. So I don't know if that counts as him saving the cat, but that moment with Casey Jones, I could definitely put that down as that one.
I'm thinking about, I can't, just you bringing this up makes me think of this, but maybe there's some sort of, okay, think about it this way. Casey Jones is a brash, angry New Yorker. He's like Western philosophy meets the cool, collected, almost Buddhist, like Japanese philosophy Am I onto something?
Ren, you're looking at Scott like, come on, help me out, bro.
Hey, stop throwing you the keys. You're gonna rev the
Yeah,
engine?
you got you drive it.
I'm looking
Ren.
on your bookshelf and seeing
Dear heavens.
the Sadhguru Karma book, inner engineering, things like that, and you're the one asking me.
Gosh.
Well, I never thought about
Ren.
it. I'm fleshing this out. I'm just.
You bring so many half philosophies to this show, Ren.
Well, if you think about it, they're both doing the same thing, but they're coming at it in a different way.
No, I love the dynamic there. Like I really do. I think his scene, my favorite scene with him in it is when they're all at the farm. He genuinely wants to help April. She's not going to take no crap from him. And he gives her crap, but he doesn't like know he's giving her crap because he's that dense. Like his culture, like so he's like, "All right, toots." And she's like, "Excuse me," you know? And he's like, "Babe, like what? Like, princess, like throw me a bone here, you know?
Give me something."
And I was like, that is the funniest interaction. And the fact that she still doesn't let him get away with it. She doesn't make what he's doing okay. But the fact that he's like, he doesn't change and she doesn't change in that scene, but it's still like a relationship building scene for them. I just love that.
No, I will say one thing they did a really good job on this movie is they gave a little love story between April and Casey, but it didn't overshadow the film in any way, in my opinion. So a good comparison to that is Willow. There's Mad Mardigan and Sosha, the daughter of the evil queen. They have a romance in that, and there's a section in the middle of the movie where it just completely overshadows Willow. You're like, oh, like when Willow pops up again, you're like, oh yeah, that's my main character. And so I was appreciative that this relationship between April and Casey wasn't overbearing. It was more just like a little bit of a character development to establish their relationship, and then it kind of moved on. I thought it was amazing.
I want to say that in Willow, the best relationship is between Willow and Kaya.
Yeah.
Willow, we've never been apart.
Is it Scott? I don't know what this says, but for some reason you said that, and I was like, "Wow, that does remind me of Paige and Scott." I don't know what that says, but literally, I just like made it click. I'm like, "Oh, that's where I've seen it or felt that feeling." That's funny.
Boring, overly cute, boring.
Oh my gosh.
I wanted to bring this up, but you were talking about things you can't unsee or unhear, but I didn't know that Corey Feldman was Donatello's voice. And now I just see his face every time I hear him talk. I thought that was cool. Yeah. And then also Kevin Clash does the voice of Splinter. That's the voice of Elmo. That blew my mind.
Kevin Clash is one of the most incredible unknown actors.
Yeah.
Like you look at his list of puppets he's like puppeteered and also voiced, and you're like, this is like a big burly New Yorker dude.
Yeah.
And he's Elmo. And he's like, I don't know, like I have so much respect for Kevin Clash. I almost want to say, like, if we're gonna do like Don Bluth or like Robin Williams movies or something like that, like Kevin Clash would probably be one of my like let's just explore the depths of Kevin Clash's talent.
Let's dive in. He deserves it.
A few years back. It was pretty good.
What was it? Speaking of actors like doing cameos, so I guess all the actors who play the turtles physically in the suits, they do have a cameo throughout the whole film. It's a lot of like background one, but the one that made me laugh was the pizza delivery guy. Apparently that's Michelangelo, and he's handing his pizza to Michelangelo through it. I thought that was pretty funny.
I didn't catch that, but yeah, I watched enough behind the scenes stuff that that's the same guy. That's hilarious.
So guys, I was curious, which Raphael screaming scene did you think was the best? Because he has three really, really solid ones. And I was like, wow, go you, Raph. Like, very impressive.
Hands down, standing on top of the farmhouse.
That's a good one. The other, my all-time favorite one is when Casey Jones knocks him in the trash can and then he's running away. And Raphael goes, he goes,
"Come back here! I'm not finished with
That one got me good. And then the heart wrenching one when they discover that Splinter's gone, and then the camera is like walking around his head, and he's just like, "Ah!"
When I was a kid, I remember the first time I watched this because that like they kind of trash their home in the sewer, and I thought that bundle of crap in the middle of the room was Splinter's dead body the first time I watched it.
Nope.
And it
Same here.
It looks like it could be a body like kind of in there, but yeah. That scream though, that's my favorite. Where it circles around him, he's just in a rage and it shakes, and yeah, that one's awesome.
So that body on the floor is like the darker timeline that the third movie's from.
Yes.
There you go.
Basically, yeah.
2 other lines I liked. Yeah, I just wanted to redecorate a couple throw pillows, a TV news reporter. I thought that was good. And then Michelangelo's watching that cartoon. He just goes, "Ninja kick the damn rabbit." that one got me.
My favorite's when he picks up the moldy pizza. He's like, "Yeah, if you like penicillin."
My favorite that I never caught, Donatello's kind of assessing Casey Jones, and he goes, "You're a claustrophobic," and he's like, "I never looked at another man," or whatever he says, and I was like, I never understood that. That's so funny. Yeah. That aged well.
Right. Good product placement by Burger King and Pepsi is another thing I noticed. Also, I think it's a crime we haven't raved about the music, because the music absolutely slaps. Like, dude,
yeah,
I'm gonna play like a 15-second clip right here, because it is so good. I literally was sitting there and it turned on, and I literally like sat up straight and was just like, doing a little jig with my shoulders and my arms. I was like, this is so good.
Yeah. That's something that the first movie and the second movie both have in common.
Mm-hmm.
Just incredible music.
Yeah, I mentioned it, but when the tempo's ticking, going into like the third act of the film, when they leave the barn, I kind of did the same thing, Harrison. I was just like, dude, this movie is like cooking, and going into the last part of the movie, like I'm excited to see what happens. And yeah, back to structure. I think this movie was structured really well.
What did you guys think about the ending, like the ending Shredder fight? Because for me personally, I think that was kind of the lowest point of the movie. I felt like the fight just really wasn't very dynamic, but I think it's all wrapped up nicely with Casey Jones hitting the lever and going, "Oops," just casually,
also,
crushing Shredder.
I just gotta say that is the most dark thing in this movie. It's like, I'm gonna casually crush this person's body.
And then it shows his helmet. Yeah.
Right in the back of a garbage truck.
This is so cool.
10 flips now.
I made another funny.
No,
there you go.
Right. You're right about the ending scene. I totally get it. But when I was looking at some of the original comics, there was one video I saw that kind of broke down, like, it's like Steve Barron, the director of the movie, he wanted it to emulate like the first Shredder Ninja Turtle fight in the comic. So it actually lines up pretty well. It's on a roof and all that stuff, but I don't think he falls into a garbage truck.
Turtle wax.
Yeah, the turtle wax.
And the fact that he's like,
right.
Also, another thing on Steve Barron, the director, but he was fired during post-production of this movie because he wanted to keep it dark and like more true to the comic book, which is probably, I mean, I'm sure he was fighting for the Michelangelo scene. And then actually one thing that they got right was they did have an alternate ending. Did you guys see that? Dude,
yeah, what was it? They go and try and do like a comic book or something. I feel like I read it. I didn't watch it.
April and Danny are like pitching this Ninja Turtle idea to like this comic book like executive, and he's like, I don't know, it's not really believable. And then like they're like in this huge, skyscraper, and then out the window, all four turtles like poke their heads from out the corners of the window. And he can't see him. And then like Michelangelo falls and he's like, whoa! And it's like goofy, and he's holding onto the ledge and he pokes his head up, and then it shows Danny and April just like cracking up laughing, and then the credits roll.
You're just like, oh god.
Yeah, it was horrific.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. But
what was it?
Okay, so right now we're at the scene where they're around the fireplace. This part is awesome. Like as an adult, Like, I think this part was too like weird when I was a kid, but like, I love this part, and
It's a beautiful image.
It is awesome, and I don't know. I don't really know what to say, but like, this is like the deepest, most special part of the movie to me. But this is like, I don't know what part of the Save the Cat this is, but maybe this is the catalyst. But like, no, this is too late. But them coming to terms and realizing that Splinter is still alive, the doubt is gone, and now they have this mission.
Yeah, this is the Dark Night of the Soul, and they come to realize what they need to do to break into Act 3, and then Act 3 starts, and then goes through the finale. So them breaking into Act 3 is when they go say it's time to go back, and then the music hits. That's breaking into Act 3. This is them realizing what they need to do to actually go save Splinter, and that's he is alive. We need to act as brothers instead of fractured like we were.
I'm catching on because as I was watching this, I was like, this must be the third act. Like, like it's hitting these beats, and the characters are getting fleshed out, and things are getting tough. They're getting the crap beat out of them. They're back to ground zero, and now the only way they have to go now is up. And
Scott, we're learning.
Yeah,
I'm learning something.
Yeah, it was my only comment about that scene. Beautiful, absolutely love it. I would love a photo of it up on my wall. But I find it kind of funny that Splinter comes out of the fire and he's facing away from them because it just looks better, like to see it. Like I was looking at it, and I was like, "Dang, this image is just gorgeous." I was like, "Wait a minute, they're just looking at the if their eyes were open, they'd be looking at the backside of him." So it was a little strange, but it's pretty funny.
So I also want to call out that they're at the house for like a week or something.
Yeah,
like there's multiple times where it's like, I haven't seen you for days, from different characters in between saying I haven't seen you for days. So like they really licked their wounds, and I like the fact that they gave it the time to do that. Like this wasn't like they got the crap beat out of them. Raph almost died.
Burn their house down.
Splinter has been tied to a wall bleeding for like a week. Like this is dark stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I liked when Raph like falls through the ceiling and Leonardo runs up to him, puts his hand on his shoulder, and he's like, he's still alive, but barely. And you're like, you touched his shoulder. Like, how do you know? Like, I love that whole fight scene too.
He can feel his heart. He can feel his pulse through those giant veins.
You know, I just need to go back to to turtle anatomy, and I wouldn't have put my foot in my mouth.
Latex veins.
Oh my gosh. So just another random note. I'm just going through my list, just trying to find anything we missed. Robin Williams apparently was a huge fan of the comics, and he actually sat down with the actress who played April O'Neil and was just like, "Hey, this is what you need to know." I'm just like, "Go, Robin!" Like,
and even more than that, he gave her his comic book collection for her to read. Here's an interesting tidbit about the original comic: is so comics are standard size, but they made their comics slightly shorter and slightly wider than other comics on the shelf, so that they would stick out like a sore thumb, and you would see their comics and pick them up. Like, it's so dirty. I love it.
I got a hot take.
Go.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Shredder's a good guy.
Oh no.
In fact,
here we go.
The Shredder knows. There's a reason that he has this giant group of Foot Clan to steal TVs, and that is because they live. And he doesn't want people to get brainwashed anymore. He doesn't want people to watch TV, consume, obey, and he's in on it. And he realizes that the Ninja Turtles came from the aliens. So he's just doing his part.
You know, I'm so glad that this character in an extremely popular franchise in the 90s really wanted to stop us from watching TV.
He's doing humanity a service, and he just gets the short end of the stick. It's not fair.
Did anyone else find Shredder like slightly like ridiculous, by the way? Like, just like every time he's like, "Those damn turtles," I'm just like, dude, move on. Like, or like the thought of, I guess that's Splinter's owner, but like the thought of like a rat like practicing ninjutsu or whatever in his cage just made me laugh. And then I don't know, just the thought process of, It's like, oh, I went in and killed this guy because he was in love with this chick. And then I sliced the ear off of this rat that attacked me. Now, 20 years later, I run into that rat, but he's as tall as me. And I want to kill him because he's ruining my Foot Clan organization. It's really wild. This is one of those movies where if you explain it very simply, it's ridiculous, but I love it.
So a classic tale of a father just perpetuating his trauma to his own children, putting his problems onto his own kids.
Exactly. It's devil all the time too.
I ain't gonna pray no more, mama.
Do not let them milk you.
Jesus.
They're milking me.
Well, here, Ren. Why don't you wrap this up and let's give this movie a rating?
This movie's not rateable for me, but I would give it a 4 stars. I love this movie. It's transformed me in more ways than I can even vocalize into this microphone. But I'm so glad that we rewatched this, revisiting it 35 years later after it was released. And just a surprising, just everything that I've learned about the post-production and just the choices they made or didn't make. And I love this movie. It'll forever be a part of me. And I'm glad we got to watch it together. And I'm excited. They just announced that they're going to be playing Ninja Turtles 2 next year in the theater on the 35th anniversary.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll revisit that then. And then, man, I just hope. I'm pretty confident the Mutant Mayhem 2 is going to be excellent, but I want this Last Ronin one to just be insane. I'm really looking forward to that. And Scott, what do you think about this movie?
Yeah, I don't know if this movie's rateable either, but I would also give it a 4. I think also it helps that my 6-year-old watched this and saw Shredder's cool warehouse with all the signs, and he went, "That place looks awesome."
That's so good.
I love this scene that we're watching right now with the rat in the cage mimicking Master Yoshi. I think that's one of the funniest visuals in the world. This movie was not my favorite Turtles because it wasn't the one I grew up with, but it is the best Turtles movie now that I've watched it more than once. It's raw, and it's a good balance of violent and kid friendly. It's the right amount of kid violence to me. If I was a kid, I wouldn't like boring crap, but this is cool.
I mean, there's no blood, so it's not that violent.
But they use weapons and nunchucks.
It's true. They hit people, Ren. Bruises.
So the kids do that. It's normal.
It's true.
No, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, this movie's a 4.5, 100% for me. I really, really like this movie. It was a really cool experience watching it from such a huge, back when I was 8 years old to now I'm in my 30s, and it just still hits so well. The music's incredible. I love the characters. I'd say the weakest points of this movie for me, Donatello is just kind of a sadder version of Michelangelo in this movie. He doesn't have a ton of character imbued into him, and I wish there was just a little bit more. And just kind of like I said, that ending fight scene was just a little bit of a lull. I would say the most unrealistic part of the whole movie is when the cops pull in after that fight, and all the teenagers are like, "Okay, yeah, we'll just stand here and wait." It's no, it'd be like cockroaches running out off of a spotlight. Yeah. But no, I loved watching it. I'll watch it again. And when people ask me if they want to watch it, if they should see it, I'm like, how have you not seen this? And you need to watch it now.
Well said. Well,
I have always been a fan of Cowabunga.
Oh, we got to talk about that. They don't say it didn't dawn on me till I was in the theater, but they don't say Cowabunga till the very end, and I freaking love that. I love that they did that. They just withheld this thing that you were waiting for the whole. I remember wondering that when I was a kid. I was like, wait, they don't say it. When do they say it? And anyways, that was great.
No, yeah. No, I love their banter. I like kind of the back and forth where they're trying out different things. Donatello will say something. They're like, really? That? And he's like, let's see, what's better? Let's say this. And then they're like, that's so much better. Oh my gosh. I thought that was good. Also, when Don, yeah.
It's like Peter Parker and all his wisecracks, but 4 of them riffing off each other.
Yes.
It's really
perfect. Good. I'm going to go watch a lot of Well, I'm gonna go watch a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff now. I just know it.
One last part that made me chuckle was where Michelangelo's like holding court in the apartment doing his impressions, and then he's walking back through the sewer with Donatello, and he's like, "It was the impressions, dude. She loved it."
No, yeah.
She didn't.
No, yeah. I love that Michelangelo is just like so in love. He's like kissing the TV all the time, and
Yeah,
it's just it's so good.
that's funny.
Oh boy.
Well, we're gonna get back on schedule. To all of our, we pissed off so many of our listeners. It's been overwhelming. But,
okay, the people that listen to this show, listening to three dudes riff, like they're like, you know what? I really wish they had done About Time.
I thought we were doing About Time this week. What? Unsubscribe.
My whole schedule.
I can't do it anymore.
Now, I will tell you, Ren, that your wife and sister-in-law are very excited for you to do About Time. They just told me downstairs.
Yeah, my wife, she's like, "Have you seen that before?" I was like, "No." She's like doing this like I don't even know how to, what do you call that? She's like happy for me. She's like,
I'm so excited for you to be
really
emotionally destroyed.
Yeah, she's like, "Have you guys done a rom-com yet?" And I was like, "No." And she's like, "Yeah, it's good." Anyways, she's excited for it. But yeah, I shared this with you guys earlier, but I'm relieved to know that the movie is nothing like the cover, so I'm excited.
That was the most comment I've ever heard. I'm like, yeah.
Dude, that cover has whoever the marketing team, they fluffed it. All right, they messed that up.
Whoa, keep your Minecraft swears to yourself.
Just I can't, like, if you see that cover on Netflix, you're scrolling right past it. That's all I'm saying.
Easy.
All right, peace and loves.
All
We'll
right.
catch you
Peace
later.
and love, guys.
Have a good night.
No problem. You too. Bye.
Adios.
That's a wrap on another episode of Cinema Slime. We hope you enjoyed it. This episode was a production by your hosts, Harrison Jensen, Ren Jensen, and Scott Shepard. Harrison handles the mixing, editing, and production, and Ren, that's me, takes care of the art and design. Want to join the conversation? Let's connect. Find us on Discord for film discussions, movie recommendations, and everything cinema. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment, and you can also connect with us on social media and show your support on Buy Me a Coffee, and we'll give you a shout out if you'd like. All links can be found in the episode notes.